What up, everybody? Today I'm gonna look at the question: did Kanan want his son Shawn in the street life? Because we already know how it ended between Shawn and Kanan, with Kanan killing his own son, Shawn Starke, and he claimed that he did it because Shawn was disloyal. But if you go back and actually watch this scene where Kanan kills Shawn, I could do a whole nother video on the real reason why Kanan killed Shawn. You see that Shawn said a bunch of hateful, nasty things towards Kanan, including that he deserved to go to jail, and Kanan shot him and killed him. So the real reason was why Kanan killed Shawn is not because he was disloyal, it's because he lost his temper. But moving on, there's a theme in Power with kids with drug dealer for parents. Starting off with Kanan and his mother Rock. You have Tariq with Ghost. You have the Tejada family. You have Force. You have the Flynn family, and so on. So just to look at a few before I get into Shawn and Kanan. Let's look at Kanan with his own mother, who was a drug dealer, Rock. If you recall, in season 1 of Raising Kanan, she tried getting Kanan into the better school, the nice school, but Kanan went in there and botched the test, so he didn't get into the school. She also put him in an after-school program with Symphony, in which Kanan enjoyed, but he was still had aspirations to get into the game. Matter of fact, he learned some stuff Symphony taught him to actually, it was a really good idea getting involved with selling some product out of gas stations, and Marvin got in on that one as well, and it was going well for them until Kanan got a little greedy and tried cooking some crack up with some poison or whatever that ended up killing a whole bunch of people, and ended up having to pull the plug on that operation. But to stay on topic, Rock soon accepted that Kanan for who he was, and she let him into the game. So there was some resistance, but eventually she put him into the stash spot with Scrappy, and let him go out and try to kill Detective Howard, his old pops, and everything moving forward, which we've seen recently in season 2. How she's letting Kanan get involved in the game, and how he's basically not even with Rock no more, but he's moved on his own to get into the game with his own plans. And we saw Ghost and Tariq, which is a whole nother story. Tariq trying to get into the game. He tried getting it through Kanan, and Kanan kind of taught him different things about the street life. But once Tariq set Kanan up to die, the next episode we saw a scene between Tariq and Ghost where Tariq says, "Teach me the game, Ghost." And Ghost tells him, "I would rather kill you than to let you get involved in this life." So Ghost had a mindset that he would not let Tariq get into the game over his dead body. Literally, he would die before he would let Tariq get into the game. And we see Tariq still got into the game, is in the game now as we speak, going into season 3 of Ghost, and he sees what his dad was talking about. He even kind of wants out of the game now, and with the situation with the Tejada family, he can't even get out of the game. So that moves me on to the Tejada family, with Monet and Lorenzo being in prison, Monet running things up until the time he got out of prison. And basically Monet forced all 3 of her children to get into the game. You can see even Diana and Drew didn't really even want it to be in the game. They wanted to go to school. Kane was the one who was all about being in the game, the life, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that was Kane. Drew and Diana didn't really want into the life, but Monet forced them into it. Matter of fact, Diana wanted to play basketball like Zeke, but Monet told her female basketball players don't make enough money, so she can just stay at home and help out with the family business. So, and then we saw when Lorenzo got out, he kind of had a change of heart, at least towards Diana. He wanted Drew to be his right-hand man and kind of push Kane away. But we did see that he did have a little bit of sympathy towards Diana and let her go to school. That gets me into the Flynn family. We don't really know how they were coming up, but we do know, at least when we met them, that Walter Flynn is fine with Vic being in the streets, but he wanted Claudia to run the legit side of the business. Wanted to keep her out of the street, but she got into the streets nonetheless with that product, Dahlia. And even moving forward, going back even onto power, Vincent, the Italian mob boss, his father was the boss before him. Lobos told Ghost that his dad was also doing the same thing he did. And the funny thing is, he said, that's why we're just alike, emphasizing that Ghost's dad was also in the game. Because I already have told y'all that Ghost's dad is Breeze, and I know I'm going to get some hate in the comments for that. You're going to tell me, well, you don't know nothing about power. Ghost's dad was Curtis St. Patrick. He was a club owner and a snitch who didn't want James nowhere in the streets. And I just want to say this, Tariq's dad could not be Ghost. He is James St. Patrick, who is a club owner and a snitch, who kept trying to keep Tariq out of the street. I ain't got to say, I'm not going to say no more about that. Just before you make your comment, I just want to say that, because I'm going to comment on you when you tell me that. Alright? Moving forward to what we got here for was the relationship with Kanan and Shawn. So, did Kanan want Shawn in the game? The short answer is no. And I'm going to tell you how we know this, because before Kanan went to jail or prison, up until the time Shawn was 9 years old, Kanan was the one who taught Shawn how to play basketball. So he was basically Shawn's first coach, if you want to call it, teacher of how to play basketball. And we saw that he was balling when he met Tariq, because he was actually shooting and making. Tariq asked him the question, how can you make all these shots with the glove on your hand? So Kanan definitely got some skill like Shawn. That's who inspired Shawn to become a basketball player. But when Shawn was 9 years old, we know that Kanan gets set up by Tasha and Ghost, and Shawn was actually in the car to witness the whole situation. To make matters even worse, he saw his dad get caught with the drugs and the gun, and he saw his dad getting taken away in a cop car and handcuffs. So it kind of put a little bitterness in his heart towards his dad for many years, but he did still continue his journey with basketball. He also told Keisha that once his dad got locked up, he continued to play basketball at the Boys and Girls Club, and he got really good at basketball and got a Division I scholarship and was playing basketball at St. John's University when he blew out his knee. And that gets me into the conversation Kanan and Shawn had when the first time Shawn went to visit Kanan in prison. Kanan was grilling Shawn about his knee, and Shawn was like, "Oh no, Pops, the doctor says my career is over with." And Kanan was like, "Nah, you gotta go get a second opinion. You gotta go try to do this and that." And Kanan was not having any words that Shawn's basketball career was over. So what did Kanan want Shawn to do? He wanted Shawn to have a career in basketball. He did not want Shawn in the streets. He wanted Shawn to go to St. John's, possibly make the NBA. If he doesn't, he spends 4 years at St. John's and is good enough. Doesn't make the NBA. He could play overseas and have plenty of different opportunities to do something with a basketball related career other than getting into the game. But he tells Kanan that his career is over with and he got a job working for Uncle G. That's Ghost. And Kanan doesn't say anything for a minute. He takes a minute to think about it, and he honestly looks a little upset. But then he processes it, and he doesn't tell him not to. He said, "I always knew it was going to play out like this." So what Kanan did, being the opportunist he was, he saw that Shawn's basketball career was over with. And from that point, since he was already working with Ghost, who was Kanan's secret enemy at the time, who he was targeting, he took advantage of Shawn and he used him as an inside man, because we did hear him say, I think he said it to Dre, that he already has an inside man. We're in Ghost organization, which is his son. So we already know Kanan is very crafty, street smart. So even though he didn't want his son to end the game, once his son's basketball career was over with and he was already in an advantageous position, he went ahead and just accepted the fact. Because it's not like Shawn was 13, 14, a kid. Shawn was out 20 years old at this point. So he was a grown man. What could Kanan say? He took advantage of it. But if by watching it different times when Kanan rebukes Shawn and talks to him harshly in season 2 or the end of season 1, whenever it is, the times he talks to him harshly, many times, he knew Shawn wasn't built for the game, but he just dealt with it nonetheless. That's why he told Tariq that Shawn was not built like them. Tariq was more of a son than Shawn ever was, because he just didn't have too much in common with Shawn. Alright, and there you have it. Did Kanan want his son Shawn Starke in the game? The short answer is no, he wanted him to be a basketball player. The long answer is once Shawn was already in position driving for Ghost, Kanan accepted it and did not fight him. Alright, there you have it. Leave your thoughts in the comments.